Hey, welcome on in, Heat Nation. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. The Heat, they lose a tough one today, taking on the chin, 120 to 113. In a lot of ways, not a grab the bottle type of game because, Milwaukee's a good team. So, there's no shame in losing to Milwaukee on the road. You got to figure they're going to make a run at some point. I think the way that the game flipped definitely hurts because it was basically all the catalyst was Kevin Porter Jr. just going off at the start of the fourth quarter and just completely dominating Miami. Tyler Herro couldn't even take a breath before Spo had to bring him back in. And really, if it wasn't for Tyler Herro, it probably would have gotten to be a blowout in that fourth quarter. That's just how bad offensively Miami was. There was nobody else they could really rely upon for anything. Very unfortunate. Tyler Herro's 40-point effort, 40 points, 11 assists in his hometown, and was just a monster today. Just so relentless. Didn't have his the only thing you could really quibble with the Tyler is he didn't even have his 3-point shot. If you have a normal Tyler Herro 3-point game, you're probably talking about a 50-piece easy from him. But got to the free throw line like a demon today. But it was just unfortunate. Nobody else really in that fourth quarter stepped up around him to give Miami any type of relief. Really, really strange game as well because you had Nikola Jović, which, we almost got to talk about the ramifications of that and what that's going to mean for this team because it certainly puts Miami in a bind. But it did in this game. Miami loses Nikola Jović at the half with a broken, second metatarsal? I don't know which part of the hand it was, but it looked like this part of his knuckle was what was really bothering him. Can't imagine that's going to be great. Man, he's had a hard luck season with these injuries. But yeah, the Miami, the unfortunate thing is, and I joked about it on social media, but the truth was every Heat fan's fear is you come out and you play this just incredible first quarter. Everything's clicking. Andrew Wiggins, closes it out with a step back three plus the foul. They end up calling it a flagrant. Eric Reed with this incredible statistic that he leads the league in 4-point plays this season, more than Harden, more than Damian Lillard, more than Tyler Herro, who's third in the league with 5. So you got a really nice start to this game from Andrew Wiggins, but it's such an uneasy feeling watching this team because even when they have that kind of a first quarter, it always just feels like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like you're just waiting for it. And that's the unfortunate thing is they can put incredible 12-minute stretches of basketball together, but that they're capable of it all derailing. And I think the thing that was most discouraging about this game, it felt like something was going to switch in this game up until in the third quarter where Bam Adebayo picks up his 4th foul. Miami was dealing with a little bit of a back and forth. Bam started off the half, hit this incredible end of shot clock 3 over Brook Lopez. Then he hits another 3 for Tyler to get his 10th assist on the game. And he really just he got a beautiful up fake. So you knew Milwaukee was going to make its run, but it felt like every single time they had their run that Miami had an answer. And then he picks up his 4th foul. And you're like, well, I said a 4-letter word on my couch, but you're probably like, oh no, that this isn't good because he's in foul trouble. Now you have to trust Ware, which Spo doesn't trust Kel'el Ware completely, and Nico is hurt. So he brings in Kyle Anderson. Immediately as this happens, it goes to a Herro turnover that leads to a Damian Lillard, Giannis alley-oop. Building starts jumping. Giannis starts getting it going. He gets back-to-back buckets to bring him like all the way back. They go on a 9-0 run. Tyler Herro, then it was basically at that point in the game, it just felt like it was Tyler Herro or bust. It's like if Tyler Herro doesn't have a three to pull out of his ass, you had nothing. You had nothing. The only other thing that they had, to be fair to Kel'el, like he did do a good job in this third quarter maintaining probably his best stretch of basketball in the game. Outside of he had a sick alley-oop and then a block on Damian Lillard in the first half. But, you could still just tell, like, the wheels sometimes are just going a little bit in slow motion with what to do, and I just felt like he got picked apart a little bit in that fourth quarter. That was certainly one of those things. I mean, no shame in the game. You're talking about Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez. I mean, guys who are all-world players or longtime veterans, champions, so much experience that he's got to deal with that, and a lot of it he had to deal with by himself. There was no Bam Band-Aid there for him. And in that third quarter, I thought he did good. I thought like at the very stretch of things where they could have used a little bit more, Giannis was blowing by him, Brook Lopez was getting steps on him. That's the growing pains that this team's going to go with. But Miami still led by 8 in the third quarter. Tyler Herro was up to 28 points. Bam had 20 and 7, and Ware had 8 of his 12 in that third quarter. So they were doing all right. And then, just the unfortunate thing is like the start to the fourth quarter, you have to sit Tyler Herro at some point. Spo tries to go out there and tries to run Terry Rozier out there for a few minutes. And all hell breaks loose. It was bad turnovers from Andrew Wiggins, and Kevin Porter Jr. just could not be stopped. Just bucket after bucket after bucket. Then he throws a lob, and the momentum had completely swung back to Milwaukee. Everything that you had worked for, your 8-point lead, gone in the blink of an eye. They're now up 97-95. And then AJ Green hits a 3 to put him up 195. It just completely goes. They started off with a 15-2 run in the fourth quarter. And it's just like, how many times this season can Eric Spoelstra watch his team start fourth quarters and just have zero ability to either A, stop the bleeding, or really B, just get any kind of bucket to respond? And that's just really where the game was lost, and that's it. Like, once you get that going, once you have a game that's flipped on its head by Kevin Porter Jr., and you have the cavalry coming in of Dame and Giannis and Brook Lopez, yeah, that's a tall task, dude. That's a tall task to ask that you're going to come back there. And even still, I mean, credit Tyler, because Tyler Herro in his hometown was giving the Heat every punching chance that he could. I mean, especially he hits the Heat watches Damian Lillard. Tyler tied it a couple of times. He tied it with a step back jumper, caused the Bucks to call a timeout. Lillard comes out of the timeout and hits a line drive 3. Then Bam and Herro both have a miss. Giannis comes back, misses a jumper over Kel'el Ware. Dame was then short on a 3 over Bam. He get the ball, and Tyler Herro just hits a bomb from the logo to give him 40 for the night. And you're like, all right, maybe they're going to pull this off. And unfortunately, answered right back. Kyle Kuzma with a 3. Giannis beats Ware. Lopez with the slam. And Miami really had nothing left. They got a goaltend bucket, I think, from Wiggins, but just couldn't respond. Like they had punched themselves out, and that's just the unfortunate thing. Like there was one even here where it was like after that goaltend bucket, like put back, Giannis grabs it, and I think John Crowley was right. Like, dude, just foul Giannis. Like, do something. You're not going to let him go up easy like that with a bucket after getting the rebound on your ass. couldn't do it, and then Damian Lillard willy-nilly down the lane for the score. Miami just ran out of it. They had nothing left on a night where they have a back-to-back going to Atlanta tomorrow. Atlanta, by the way, loses tonight 148-143. Defense was optional in Atlanta tonight, but they lose to the Pistons. So this will obviously be a pretty big one in the standings. If we look right now, Miami still sits 8th, a game in front of the loss column in front of the Atlanta Hawks, just a game back, or they're ahead in the loss column to Orlando. So that play-in level all still is clunky, but Miami still, to get out of the play-in now, Miami has got a little climbing to do. This is not like, they're going to have to put some kind of a win streak together if that's even in their stratosphere of making it happen. And, you have this happen tonight, and the night where it's unfortunate because they played a pretty solid game, but it's just the pattern of them losing. It's just you could set your watch to it. It's like great start, probably a mediocre second quarter. Third quarter, the other team tries to make their run. Miami does something, defend it off pretty good. Start of the fourth quarter happens, poop the bed, and we'll see what happens at the end of the fourth. But any team that's worth anything against Miami, any team that's not the Raptors, the Wizards, whoever, they're probably going to end up beating Miami. And that's just been the story of it. And I think it's unfortunate because I thought Tyler Herro played a great game today. I thought for the most part, Bam had an outstanding game up until he got into foul trouble. Once he got into foul trouble, and then it did feel like once that happened, he played very passively when he came back in, and you just can't afford that. Andrew Wiggins, really strong start, did not have a good fourth quarter. Davion Mitchell had a couple of attempts in the fourth quarter. I'm not looking at him to save it. The other thing that you realize out of this game now is, well, how many guys is Spo going to trust on the bench now, right? Because while the starters all played pretty damn good today for the most part this game, and they're going to wear the blame because they're the guys, but who on that bench now, with especially Jovic being gone, like who is Eric Spoelstra going to trust? Because Jaime's not playing, Haywood's not playing, Alec Burks not playing, Kevin Love's not with the team because of personal reasons. I believe the birth of his child, so congratulations to Kevin Love. He's leaning into Kyle Anderson in emergencies a little bit more. I'd imagine with no Nico, that'll probably be a little bit more with that. But certainly there's some soul searching that's got to go on there. And, you got to figure out what to do in these to give Tyler Herro a rest, because you got a back-to-back. He played 40 tonight, a really hard 40 and a hard-fought 40 where he's getting to the free throw line a ton. 3 games in 4 nights. We'll see what Miami's got for Atlanta tomorrow. But this was certainly an unfortunate one. But I think one a lot of Heat fans could see coming a mile away. As soon as Adebayo got that 4th foul, and you knew they were really like swimming hard to keep their head above water, it felt like it just took one little nudge from Milwaukee before Miami was like, oh, we can't keep this up. And unfortunately tonight it was mother bleeping Kevin Porter Jr. It wasn't even like Damian Lillard killing you or Giannis killing you. It's like that's what's gonna, you go for them shot for shot at the end, and Giannis's little run there, but it's KPJ's little run there that's gonna be the one that knocks you over. What are you gonna do? Story of the season. Look, you really want a one like this tonight because of the game that Herro had in his hometown. You go winless against the Bucks this season. Critical one tomorrow. Obviously, you want to keep your spot in the East right now against Atlanta. And if you could go 2-3, 2 out of 3 on the road trip, 2-1 on the road trip, it's nothing to sneeze at. But The Heat, I think, are going to be kicking themselves a little bit on this plane ride and trying to gather themselves about what if, and I think there's got to be a lot of that in Spo's head. And he's got to figure out some solutions now because, now he's in a position where he loses Jovic. Who does he trust? I don't know. I'm going to go listen to his comments, see what he had to say after the game about it, and might discuss on where they go here with Jovic because that's a really, really bad break for Miami.